Today, we are taking a monumental journey, really far off the beaten track. Forget the polished images you might have of major cities, because we are diving deep into China's hidden worlds.
We really are.
These are places so raw, so sacred, and so real, they just fundamentally redefine what you thought the country looked like.
Absolutely. We're talking about regions that are defined by these geological extremes. Every single peak, every lake holds centuries, sometimes millions of years of history.
It's a mission, really, to become instantly well-informed about a part of the world that, often gets overshadowed by its economic powerhouses.
Right, we're moving beyond the standard travel ad and trying to truly understand why these hidden corners matter so much.
And what defines them?
It's this astonishing fusion of deep geological history, and I mean deep, like formations dating back hundreds of millions of years, intense natural phenomena, and these profound cultural and spiritual legacies that are just woven right in.
It feels like we're traversing continents of compressed time. We're looking at mountains that are, they're irrefutable proof of Earth's most violent shifts.
And then you have these bodies of water that aren't just scenic. They are vital lifelines for millions and millions of people.
We're going to cover everything from the highest, most perilous trails where just one misstep means disaster, to entire submerged cities just resting silently beneath these massive man-made reservoirs.
It's a story all about scale, both natural and human scale, and it reveals how intertwined nature and human faith are in this culture.
And how often those intersections happen in the most extreme remote environments you could possibly imagine.
Exactly. The sheer effort required just to reach these places or to build these incredible structures on them that often dictates their spiritual significance.
Okay, let's unpack this. Starting right at the top, with the peaks where ancient spirituality meets genuinely extreme geology.
Yeah.
We are talking about mountains that are not just scenic backdrops, but are genuine cultural or religious hubs.
And almost universally, they feature absolutely terrifying terrain.
Oh, yeah.
When you look at the sacred mountains of China, you realize that the spiritual significance, it almost always arises directly from the geological spectacle itself.
So the danger is the point.
In a way, yes. It's the sheer difficulty of the ascent, the altitude, the overwhelming feeling of isolation that makes these places feel, closer to the divine.
The physical challenge becomes a spiritual act.
Precisely.
And nothing embodies that duality quite like the Wudang Mountains.
Wudang.
They are renowned globally as the cradle of the Taoist martial arts tradition. For anyone familiar with Chinese folklore, this is the region famously associated with the legend of Sun Wukong,
the Monkey King.
Right.
The lore says that these mountains were the source of his early training.
In that connection between the landscape and the disciplined martial arts of Taoism, you can still feel it today. It's palpable.
It's a place where practitioners still go to seek that physical and spiritual discipline. UNESCO recognized Wudang back in 1994.
It's a World Heritage Site, right?
Yeah, but not just for the natural beauty, specifically because of that seamless fusion of the grand scenery and the ancient sacred structures that are built right into the rock.
It's the architecture that really tells the story of human perseverance here. The tallest summit, Tanzu Peak, it reaches over 10,000 feet.
And to put that in context for you, that's higher than virtually every single peak in the entire Appalachian mountain range.
It's massive.
Yeah.
But it's the structures that are just astonishing. The entire complex includes what people call the Taoist Great Wall.
Right, which incorporates more than 30 major shrines and these unique constructions.
And these aren't just temporary shelters. They are massive, integrated compounds built on these narrow ledges and incredibly steep slopes.
It just demonstrates incredible foresight and engineering from hundreds and hundreds of years ago.
So if Wudang represents spiritual tradition achieved through discipline, then Mount Hashan.
Oh, Mount Hashan is different. It's often called the Western Mountain, and it represents sheer physical confrontation.
It's one of the 5 sacred mountains, and it has this profound history over 2,000 years as a hub for Taoist monasteries.
It does, but today, its contemporary identity is built on one thing.
Danger.
Exactly. Danger. It features what are consistently ranked as some of the world's most perilous hiking trails.
And we're not exaggerating. We're talking sheer vertical ascents where the paths are literally just inches wide.
And you rely entirely on these precarious wooden steps or rusty chains that are affixed directly to the steep rock faces.
It is a genuine existential test of your own courage.
What's so fascinating is the tension there. This site, which originally drew pilgrims seeking isolation and enlightenment,
now draws tourists seeking a thrill.
Precisely. It now generates substantial tourism revenue. We're talking about 100,000 visitors a year because of those terrifying extreme paths.
So people pay good money to face their own mortality on a 2,000-year-old sacred trail.
It's that combination of deep history and extreme scenery that makes it an irresistible, albeit harrowing, draw for the modern adventurer.
Okay, so moving from the Taoist origins of Hashan and Wudang to the heart of Buddhist sanctuaries. Now we find Mount Wutai.
Wutai. This mountain holds a spiritual legacy that lasts over 1,500 years. It stands as one of the 4 sacred peaks of Buddhism in China.
It's a very complex site.
It is. It ascends to about 10,000 feet, and its physical identity is defined by its 5 distinct, massive summits.
Each with its own name and unique religious meaning.
Right. And the scale of the cultural landscape, it mirrors the geological scale. The region spans roughly 60,000 acres.
And hosts more than 50 historic temples and shrines.
Which remain key spiritual and educational locations even today.
What's unique is how that high-altitude climate shapes the reverence for the place. The temperature range is significant.
Oh, absolutely. It can climb up to 70 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer, which is perfect for a pilgrimage.
But then it plunges.
It plunges below 20 degrees in the winter, often covering the peaks in thick, thick snow.
And this rich, varied, and often harsh natural landscape is actually crucial for conservation.
It is. It shelters many uncommon animal species, including certain threatened mammals, which significantly enhances its ecological worth. The inaccessibility is what protects them.
And if Wutai is all about scale, Fanjing Shan is about something else entirely.
It's about surreal, almost unbelievable visuals. This mountain is known for a truly unique landscape where a floating temple is suspended right in the clouds.
Situated over 7,500 feet above sea level, you just have to wonder, how on earth do they get the materials up there?
Let alone engineer the foundation to hold a structure that high up. It's staggering.
Exactly. Just picturing that. A temple that looks like it's literally floating, surrounded by mist, and it's only accessible by a sheer climb.
It's this exceptional fusion of natural wonder and architectural defiance that earned it UNESCO World Heritage status in 2018.
But the mountain is more than just a platform for spectacle. Fanjing Shan is also an incredible biodiversity hotspot.
Absolutely. The unique climate and isolation have allowed it to just flourish. It hosts one of China's most diverse ecosystems.
With more than 1,600 different plant species recorded.
And it's also a vital, isolated habitat for incredibly rare wildlife, most famously the endangered Chinese golden monkey.
It really is a remarkable destination. It forces you to recognize that these ancient spiritual havens are often the last remaining strongholds for unique natural life.
They really are.
Okay, now let's pivot to the realm of the high-altitude mountaineer, the geological giants that are primary climbing challenges.
Yes.
Siguniang Mountain, known locally as the Goddess of Snow, is one of China's tallest peaks, topping out at a breathtaking 22,287 feet.
The age of this peak is what really puts its scale into context for us. Siguniang was formed around 200 million years ago.
200 million years.
To put that into perspective for you, 200 million years ago, dinosaurs were still consolidating their dominance on Earth. This peak is a physical testament to immense, intense mountain-building processes.
That deep time is what makes the climbing challenge so extreme. It's a major destination for serious climbers, but the conditions are so harsh.
And the altitude so punishing.
That only about 3% of those who attempt to conquer the highest peak actually succeed.
It's a serious, serious undertaking. It requires global-level expertise.
And the environmental significance mirrors the physical size and difficulty, right?
It does. The sprawling 73,000-acre area surrounding Siguniang is a high-altitude refuge for some of the world's most recognizable yet rarest species.
We're talking about the giant panda and the snow leopard.
Exactly. So this area plays a crucial role in international conservation research, ensuring these apex species have enough room to roam in a protected environment.
Speaking of extremes and unique geographical situations, Yulong Snow Mountain presents a paradox you just don't find anywhere else.
It really does. Its peak reaches 18,360 feet, creating one of the coldest, most severe climates on Earth.
And yet,
due to its unique geological development, it is the only place in China where significant ice and snow are situated close to the tropical region.
that geographical anomaly is scientifically fascinating.
It is. You have these huge ancient glaciers surviving in an area that's influenced by warmer southern air currents.
Historically, Yulong's placement created a natural high-altitude pass, didn't it?
Yes, it was part of an ancient trade route, a place where Tibetan and Chinese merchants exchanged essential goods along a vital extension of the Silk Road. The mountain wasn't just scenery, it was a pathway.
And ecologically, it's a treasure trove, directly tied to that unique climate.
A lot of people don't realize that Yulong Snow Mountain is considered the birthplace of many pristine forests.
These ecosystems harbor incredibly rare plant and animal species that you often just can't find anywhere else in the world.
They've evolved in that specific, unique intersection of tropical and glacial influence. Its ecological and historical significance is just deeply rooted in its geographic defiance.
Okay, so transitioning from the soaring sacred heights, we have to now look at the water worlds below.
Right. If faith is found on the highest altitudes, it is sustained by the water sources that flow from them.
And these vital resources hidden within these lakes are often even more critical than the spiritual peaks themselves. They form the basis of regional life.
Very true.
We can start with Hai Lake, also known as Erhai Lake. It's one of China's largest freshwater lakes, covering about 48.5 square miles.
And importantly, despite its size, it's relatively shallow. The maximum depth is only about 22 feet.
So the immediate insight here is its sheer vitality as an absolute resource.
The scale of the water storage is what you really need to remember here. Hai Lake contains an astonishing 400 million cubic meters of water.
400 million.
Which makes it a critical, irreplaceable water source for millions of people in the surrounding regions, especially for agriculture and daily life.
And this life-giving source is immensely ancient. It originated over 1 million years ago from a reservoir created by massive tectonic activity.
1 million years of history sustaining modern life, that's a profound connection to think about.
And the ecosystem is robust because of that stable history. It's home to nearly 100 species of fish,
including rare and endangered varieties that are found nowhere else. So it plays a significant, if often quiet, role in native species conservation. It's a sanctuary.
Then we have Basong Lake, which is a spectacle unto itself. It's sometimes known as the colorful lake.
The altitude is astounding. It sits at an incredible elevation of 12,467 feet.
To put that in context, that is high enough to be affected by acute mountain sickness if you ascend too quickly.
And yet, it's a functioning lake. Its origin story is literally etched in ice. It was formed from glacial melt.
And it reaches a surprising maximum depth of 420 feet. The nickname Colorful Lake comes from a fascinating chromatic phenomenon.
Right. The water continually changes colors throughout the day, shifting from a deep forest green to this bright azure blue.
That color change isn't magic, though.
No, it's physics driven by the environment. It reflects the angle of the sun, the presence of specific minerals suspended in the glacial meltwater.
And the varying seasonal temperatures.
Exactly. That serious temperature fluctuation, going from freezing point at 32 degrees up to a relatively warm 68 degrees, it profoundly impacts the habitat within and around the lake.
So that contributes to its incredibly high biodiversity across the surrounding 6,000 acres.
Precisely.
Now we shift away from the natural wonders to the man-made ones. And here we find a truly staggering cultural history. We encounter the massive Qian Dao Lake, or Thousand Island Lake.
And this lake was created entirely by human hands through the building of a dam specifically for power production. It dramatically reshaped the surroundings.
The resulting body of water is immense, 573,000 acres, holding 1,078 islands. Many of them are completely untouched.
It looks like a pristine archipelago, but the most astonishing fact, the one that connects us to deep and often painful human history, is what rests beneath its surface.
An entire sunken city.
An entire sunken city. It must be such a sight, a ghostly town beneath the waves.
The creation of that lake, it necessitated a massive and specific historical moment, 1959.
Right. Locals who had lived in that valley for generations had to relocate due to the dam project.
So that sunken city is more than just a scenic relic. It is a preserved memory of a displaced community now resting beneath 100 feet of water.
Nearby, in Hunan province, we find Dongjiang Lake, another massive engineering project. It's the region's largest man-made lake.
Completed in 1970 for hydropower and flood regulation, it reaches a maximum depth of 164 feet.
It creates a diverse, deep water habitat.
I have to admit, when I hear about a unique delicacy like bloodfish, I immediately think less about flood regulation and more about, well, dinner.
I'm with you. While the lake is essential for energy, not many people realize Dongjiang Lake is famous for a culinary secret.
Bloodfish. It's a unique, rare and apparently highly refined delicacy found only in its waters.
Which appeals specifically to culinary enthusiasts and, of course, researchers studying unique endemic species.
The lake is also warm enough in the summer, climbing to 82 degrees, to attract a huge number of aquatic sports enthusiasts.
Moving far west now to the edges of the Gobi Desert, Canis Lake offers this beautiful serpentine shape.
It's an S-shaped body of water, covering about 4.88 square miles at 5,260 feet elevation, and it's renowned for its distinctive emerald green water.
Its geology is just staggering. Canis Lake boasts 300 million years of geological history.
300 million?
Primarily shaped by glacial activity that sculpted the valley during various ice ages, and the volume of water is enormous.
But the most captivating part is an optical phenomenon known as the glowing lake effect.
Yeah, where the water, due to its mineral composition and depth, it reflects sunlight into these mysterious and striking colors. It gives it an otherworldly appearance.
And here's where history surfaces again. Beyond the natural beauty, Canis Lake was once inhabited by the ancient Khanty people.
A relatively isolated group, cultural relics from this era have been uncovered nearby, highlighting a deep, hidden piece of regional history.
Finally, we have to mention Tian Shan Tianchi, or Heavenly Lake.
Heavenly Lake, located at an elevation of 5,500 feet in Xinjiang. It really does earn the name Heavenly, given its stunning, high-altitude location.
And it's surrounded by geological features that give us a window into deep Earth history.
Specifically, the surrounding rocks were formed during the Pliocene epoch.
Which, to clarify for our listeners, the Pliocene was around 2.6 million years ago, a time when the Earth's climate began to cool significantly, leading to the ice ages.
Exactly. So these ancient rock layers offer valuable scientific data into Earth's ongoing geological processes. Scientists study them to better understand the region's past.
And the climate there is dynamically brutal. High wind speeds, up to 47 miles per hour.
It creates a rapidly changing, extremely challenging environment, yet surprisingly, this severity supports a diverse ecosystem.
Including the endemic cypress tree, which is a rare species in high-altitude regions.
Its survival there is just a testament to the resilience of nature in the face of these extreme forces.
The mountains and lakes we've covered, they all point toward one central theme, the profound scale of time. So now we're going to look at landscapes where geological time, millions upon millions of years of erosion, tectonic forces, and relentless climate action, is truly the main artist.
This is where the scale of Earth's history becomes just truly mind-boggling, and it starts with the Tian Shan Grand Canyon.
One of the largest canyons globally. It stretches about 24 miles.
To visualize that, you should imagine an area almost the length of a marathon, with its deepest point reaching a staggering 1,800 feet down.
Its formation timeline is massive, but geologically speaking, it's relatively recent.
Right. It was formed around 500,000 years ago, primarily due to the intense erosive actions of wind and water cutting through the rock layers.
And this canyon is far from barren. It's not just a geological spectacle.
No, it boasts a rich, diverse ecology. There are over 200 species of rare plants and animals there.
Some of which are endemic, meaning they exist solely within this protected environment.
Right, having evolved specifically to survive in the canyon's unique conditions.
What stands out to me is the chromatic shift that not many people know about. The colors of the rocks actually change with the seasons.
Yeah, in the spring when the light hits just right, you get these striking variations of yellow, red, and green tones.
It gives the canyon a unique, shifting beauty that highlights both its natural and biological value. It's a dynamic, living landscape.
So if 500,000 years sounds old, let's talk about a timeline that makes that seem like yesterday. Zhangye colorful Danxia.
This region is world-renowned for its mountains of vibrant colored rocks, shaped by geological changes that occurred over approximately 540 million years.
But here's where it gets really interesting. 540 million years ago, complex life was just starting to emerge in the oceans.
We are talking deep, deep time, far before the age of the dinosaurs.
The colors, the striking reds, yellows, greens, and grays, are the result of minerals like iron oxide in the rock layers,
which were deposited layer upon layer, reflecting past weather conditions and sedimentation processes across those vast eras of Earth history.
And that deep history gives this landscape immense scientific value. Zhangye was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2010 for that reason.
And beyond the breathtaking views, many fossils of ancient plants and animals have been discovered there.
Offering invaluable insights into life millions of years ago, it's truly an open, vibrant history book of the planet that you can physically walk through.
Okay, now we go underground. deep into the subterranean worlds, starting with Xijin Cave.
One of the largest caves in the world, stretching over 15,000 feet long.
Xijin Cave was formed around 2 million years ago through the slow, relentless action of water dissolving the rock.
And with a maximum depth reaching 4,412 feet, it creates areas with radically different air and temperature conditions inside.
Which, surprisingly, supports a rich habitat for many unique species of endemic animals that have adapted to eternal darkness.
And once you're inside, the natural wonders are staggering. You can admire gigantic stalactites that hang like stone chandeliers.
And some of the massive stalagmites reach towering heights of up to 23 feet.
Plus, there's a substantial underground river, about 1,600 feet long, which serves as a constant essential water source and forms this unique, closed ecosystem.
Another remarkable subterranean location is Luonan Mountain Jiguan Cave,
which is a massive limestone formation dating back over 200 million years.
And that limestone structure is the key. Its local name, Jiguan, it means rice granary.
A reflection of the cave's unique, basin-like terrain, which was shaped by continuous water erosion.
This cave functions like a vast, hidden natural reservoir. It can hold up to 3 million gallons of water,
forming these mysterious pitch-black underground lakes that remain largely unexplored. It makes it a prime destination for researchers.
And adding to its draw, the internal temperature is consistently pleasant, between 50 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit year-round.
The Libo karst system takes that same limestone geological process and brings it dramatically back to the surface.
For listeners who may not know, a karst system is a landscape formed from the dissolution of soluble rocks, like limestone,
creating complex features like sinkholes, caves, and underground drainage systems. And Libo is a recognized unique example of this,
with limestone peaks soaring up to 3,300 feet.
The Libo Valley covers 1,000 acres, and because of the karst nature, it's riddled with hundreds of streams and waterfalls.
This landscape boasts incredible biodiversity. Over 600 rare plant species and many threatened animal species thrive there.
And, appealing to the modern traveler, Libo is home to some of the longest suspension bridges in China,
which are deliberately built to showcase the verticality of the terrain, boosting adventure tourism.
We can't discuss geological time without touching on ice history, which shows the most immediate impact of climate.
Hulwugu Glacier. It has a formation history of about 25,000 years, dating back to the last ice age.
It stretches 7.5 miles and reaches thicknesses up to an incredible 984 feet in some areas.
What's simultaneously fascinating and concerning about Hulwugu is its resilience. It's one of the glaciers least affected by climate change in China.
A natural anomaly, although its melting rate is unfortunately increasing like every other major ice mass globally.
But the true, wondrous contrast that draws researchers is that it contains natural hot springs,
with water temperatures reaching up to 176 degrees Fahrenheit, literally steaming. This juxtaposition of solid, ancient ice and piping hot water is just captivating.
And bringing it full circle back to the mountains, Tanzhu Mountain, or Heavenly Lord Mountain, is one of the largest limestone ranges in the area.
Right, like the Jiguan Cave. It was shaped over 200 million years ago. It's irrefutable proof of Earth's massive geological shifts.
It was recognized as a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve in 2011, and naturally, it is steeped in countless folktales and myths.
Hence the evocative nickname.
The raw, powerful geological forces we just discussed really set the stage. But the next set of sites shows how human history, engineering, and cultural devotion have profoundly molded this landscape.
And been molded by it. We can begin with a true masterpiece blending nature and humanity, the Longji Rice Terraces.
Built by hand by ethnic minorities, primarily the Zhuang people, this advanced agricultural system has a history spanning more than 1,000 years.
It's an act of sustained human engineering. This is far beyond basic farming.
It demonstrates remarkable sustainable farming techniques through an incredibly advanced gravity-fed irrigation system,
which allows them to cultivate rice successfully on slopes that are just impossibly steep.
The sheer scale is breathtaking. Approximately 3,600 acres of thousands of terraces arranged in these wavy, contoured shapes that follow the mountainside exactly.
And the visual magic, which defines its fame, happens in the summer, when the terraces are flooded with water for planting.
The entire area transforms into a gigantic mirror, reflecting the sunlight and the sky. It's a truly spectacular and humbling scene.
They are rightly seen not just as a tool for sustenance, but as a profound collective work of art.
If the terraces speak to patient, long-term human effort, Tianmen Mountain appeals to the thrill seeker and the spiritual devotee at the same time.
It features a natural skygate, soaring an unbelievable 4,000 feet high. It's one of the highest natural arches in the world.
And it's been an important spiritual site for the Tao people for thousands of years, viewed as a physical gateway to the heavens.
And the modern journey to reach that spiritual gateway is an adventure in itself. Visitors ride the world's longest cable car,
Stretching about 7,455 feet, which takes them up the steep face of the mountain, offering these panoramic, terrifying views.
Once you are at the summit, the challenge continues with walking paths totaling 1,500 feet in length, weaving through a road with 99 hairpin bends.
And for those who need a serious adrenaline rush, there's the famous glass skywalk, spanning roughly 2,500 feet.
Which allows you to look straight down through the glass floor, 4,000 feet to the valley below.
Now let's travel to an extreme contrast. The Mingsha Mountain in Crescent Spring, located deep in a desert environment.
Mingsha Mountain, spanning 6,000 acres, has a completely unique feature. The sand produces a resonant sound, like drums or bells, when it moves,
Earning it the nickname Singing Sand. And right next to that is the Crescent Spring.
the only freshwater source in the desert, and it has existed for more than 2,000 years, a genuine miracle of hydrology.
It's sustained by a unique, delicate hydrological system that replenishes it from below, despite the relentless arid environment.
Historically, Mingsha Mountain and its spring were absolutely crucial. It was a primary stop on the ancient Silk Road,
Drawing weary merchants, travelers, and pilgrims who depended on that water source.
The environment is marked by extreme climate conditions, with temperatures fluctuating by up to 60 degrees between a scorching day and freezing night.
Shifting to architectural and cultural history, Anren Ancient Town stands out as a unique anomaly.
It is one of the few ancient Chinese towns that has remarkably preserved its European architectural style from the late Qing dynasty.
The preservation is extensive, covering about 50 acres and housing more than 50 ancient residences.
Key among them is the Anan Lu Manor, built in 194, which showcases a fascinating blend of Eastern aesthetic sensibilities and Western architectural design.
Anren was rightly recognized as a National Cultural Heritage Site in 2001 and is now a major tourist draw,
attracting around 1 million visitors annually. Beyond the architecture, it's known for unique folk festivals, like dragon boat racing along the canals.
Finally, we turn to the preservation of raw, pristine wilderness, starting with Pudako National Park.
Which holds the distinction of being China's first national park, established in 2007, a landmark moment for conservation.
This park covers more than 1,500 acres of natural forest, providing a vital habitat for over 200 species of rare animals, including the Asian brown bear.
And it's become a key place for ecotourism, balancing conservation with public access, welcoming about 500,000 visitors annually.
But what makes Pudako truly sacred is the indigenous cultural context. This land was considered absolutely sacred by the indigenous Naxi people,
who believed it to be a pure, untouched place where heaven and earth communicated directly.
Then there is the sheer majesty of Juzaigu Valley, a vast nature reserve spanning an immense 115,000 acres.
It's a botanical paradise, home to nearly 1,000 different plant species, many of which are rare and endangered.
The valley is famous globally for its water features. The lakes within Juzaigu are notable for their stunning, almost unbelievable chromatic colors.
Shades of electric blue, turquoise, and deep yellow, resulting from the unique presence of minerals and high concentrations of algae.
And it's famous for a truly unique seasonal wonder known as the winter and autumn phenomena.
Because of the altitude and microclimates, visitors can witness vibrant red and yellow autumn leaves alongside patches of ice and snow simultaneously.
This region was once inhabited by Tibetan and Hui minority ethnic groups, and their local legends about the valley's formation carry significant cultural meaning.
Okay, let's wrap up our deep dive with a quick overview of some massive natural sanctuaries that just highlight the sheer size, age, and overwhelming ecological value of these regions.
Let's start with Tiantai Mountain. It's not just a physical peak at 4,300 feet, but the very birthplace of the Tiantai school, a prominent Buddhist sect.
It is a tranquil, extensive site. It covers 493 acres of mountains, valleys, and untouched forests.
Its climate is quite pleasant, with an average summer temperature of about 75 degrees Fahrenheit, and it has 8 major rivers and numerous waterfalls.
Next, the Yandang Mountains. Geologically ancient, this region was created roughly 100 million years ago during the Mesozoic Age, mostly by intense volcanic forces.
It was listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2010, covering 25,000 acres. Its highlight is the Fairy Rock,
a distinctly formed 66-foot stone tower that rises dramatically from the earth, which locals believe holds mystical abilities.
In Liaoning Province, Wu Mountain stands out as a major wildlife sanctuary, stretching across 25,000 acres.
It holds ancient cultural treasures like stone carvings from the Qing dynasty, and due to its rugged nature, it was historically used as a hideout for fighters during wartime.
Ecologically, it holds a vibrant coniferous woodland ecosystem that provides critical shelter.
Finally, the Naladi tourist area, which spans an immense 370,000 acres. It is renowned for the majestic beauty of the Tian Shan Mountains.
Naladi draws visitors not just with its scenery, but also with the unique nomadic traditions of the Kazakh minority ethnic group.
Located at 6,000 feet elevation, a little-known fact is that it features some of the most beautiful green pastures in China, bursting with vibrant wildflowers in summer.
The scale of this place, both geographically and historically, from the tiny details of the bloodfish to the massive scale of the glaciers, is just staggering.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, what we've truly traversed today is a profound interlocking relationship between deep geological time and concentrated human history.
We've seen landscapes defined by rock formations dating back 540 million years, like the Danxia.
Contrasting sharply with the 200-million-year-old limestone of Tanzhu Mountain.
And sitting right on top of that colossal geological timeline, we see 1,000-year-old rice terraces built by hand.
And evidence of 2,000-year-old Silk Road trade routes that depended on the crescent spring, and sacred sites like Wutai with 1,500 years of Buddhist legacy.
China is not merely vast. It is a layered, integrated history book written simultaneously by tectonic forces and human hands.
And the details underscore the critical nature of these hidden worlds, not just for tourism, but for life. We found the massive scale of hidden resources, like the 400 million cubic meters of vital water in Hai Lake.
And the extreme human challenge offered by paths like Hashan, where only a 3% success rate awaits high-altitude climbers. So what does this all mean?
What does it mean?
We've uncovered sunken cities beneath reservoirs, mountains that glow, change color with the seasons, and habitats that house unique species like the bloodfish and the endangered Chinese golden monkey. These places are utterly unique and irreplaceable.
This raises an important question. We've noted that much of this landscape is intrinsically tied to ancient spiritual beliefs and indigenous cultures, like the Naxi people viewing Pudakwo National Park as a place where heaven and earth communicated. How does the growing modern tourism, which brings millions of visitors and millions of dollars in revenue and requires glass skywalks and the world's longest cable cars, affect the sacred, silent character of these unique, untouched worlds?
Is it possible for these places to remain raw and sacred when they are simultaneously major engines for the global adventure economy?